The next question, I believe, is a good question. It's going to go to Senator Handwerk. The question is, Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1 in Louisiana, and yet we are considered a red state. What can the Democratic Party do to change that trend in Louisiana, and how can we build a stronger base?
Boy, I'm glad I got an easy question. So I think the first thing that we have to do is go to the facts. One of the things that we can take a look at is actual turnout numbers. In this last presidential election cycle, we had a 68% turnout during a presidential election. However, if you look back and rewind the clock only 1 year from there for the 2011 election, where we elected governor, the state representatives that we have here with us today, that turnout statewide was only 37%. So it's only 1 in 3 people actually showing up and voting on election day. So, you know, that's clearly a problem. When you dig into those numbers though, in the presidential election, okay, we actually had some districts, okay, some districts that were, and some parishes that were turning out at a lower point than 20%, lower than 20%. These are some of the biggest questions that we have right now. The big question of who leads our state, who leads our House and our Senate here in in the state. These are huge questions, but yet so many people just don't feel engaged in the process. With the new leadership at the Democratic Party, we're taking that on. We feel that you can't only run as an election system. One of the biggest insults that I used to get is when I would go out walking the neighborhoods back during election times, right? And I would say, oh, here come the Democrats, must be election time. That to me is actually kind of an insult, right? We need to be involved in our communities every single day. We need to be working on the issues that are facing folks every single day, from the potholes in our streets to look what's happening to our schools. These are our schools that educate our children. And we have to be playing a more active role on a day in and day out basis. So looking at that. Now, I think that a course could probably be taught on this, but the last 2 things that I want to say is, I think the gerrymandering of our districts has probably also played a role. When you look at how the districts are carved out, okay, especially in this last session, I know these folks fought incredibly hard to try and get some better maps delivered for us here in the state. But ultimately they hit roadblocks because they gerrymandered the district so much so that really only people of like minds live in a district. And so the problem is that some of our far right-wing Republican friends, we're still calling them friends, right? Our far right-wing Republican friends don't ever have to come and talk to us, okay? Because we don't live in their districts anymore. We've been carved out. Some of these districts look like Swiss cheese. So that's certainly something that we need to take a look at. And, you know, one of the things that we're really going to be focusing on, and we've already started, is really building our strategic alliances with community groups throughout the state. And that's going to go on all the time, not just during election time. There are too many vital issues that need to be addressed now, and the Democratic Party needs to be a full partner in that. We don't want to scale down in off-election years. We're one of the few states in the country right now that's actually hiring. We're hiring up people to come and work for us right now, because we're going to be staffing up, and then we're going to keep those staffing levels. We'll do what it takes to raise the money to keep those folks so that we can actually stay engaged. So those are the 3 things, if I had to boil it down.
Thank you, Mr. Handwerk.